Baseball umpire said to me when I was 13 years old, "Hey kid, you hit a home run, I'll take you to see the Doors tonight."
All night long. Yeah, man, come on.
For a kid on the verge of rebellion, seeing Jim Morrison on stage that night with no idea what to expect just was a life-altering experience. And I found out where they rehearsed, and I started hanging out there until their manager threw me out and said, "This is a place of business. You can't come here anymore." And I went down to the bus stop, and I was just in tears. You know, it was like paradise revoked, and Morrison came walking across the street and said, "Hey, Danny, who died? What's the matter?" "Bill threw me out. He said it's a place of business. I get in the way." He said, listen, stop crying. Bill can't do anything. He works for us." I said, "Oh, he did. He threw me out." He said, just wait here, will you? Don't get on that bus now." So I sat and waited for him, and about 10 minutes later, he said, "Hey, Danny, come on up," and hired me to do the fan mail. One of the reasons I wanted to write this book was no one here gets out alive, I felt, was imbalanced. Jim was a much nicer guy than that book alone indicated. I mean, the book is true, everything about it's true, but the fact is, Jim befriended a 13-year-old kid, and his attentions to me meant all the difference in the world. He got me interested in learning. He said, just because teachers can't teach and school's boring and a drag doesn't mean you shouldn't read the books. You know, there's some incredible stuff in there, history and literature. You know, I love that, he said, and I'd never looked at it like that.
But Jim Morrison also introduced the starstruck young kid to the road of excess that leads to the palace of wisdom. In a word, drugs.
Everybody was behaving like Morrison in those days. It was very excessive behavior. You know, the holy trinity of drugs and rock and roll and sex was alive and well.
Why that music is your special friend.
As Sugerman's book makes painfully clear, all that excess not only led to Morrison's untimely death, but to Sugerman's own near-fatal bout with heroin addiction.
I thought I'd OD or, you know, go in a car crash or wake up dead, as Jim used to say. And I was lucky enough to be given a choice. And I chose to live. And I like to think if Jim would have had the ability to stop, he would have chosen to live. He loved life. Jim was never on the death trip to me.
From his brush with death, Sugerman learned a simple and crucial lesson.